Hey there, hello everyone. Good to see you. I'm Chandra, and I'm wanting to start this conversation. I've had some introductions with my past couple of videos, but now we're going to start digging in deep about what I want to share, and hopefully this resonates with some of you. So, I woke up this morning and I thought, oh man, what did I do? I started a YouTube channel. I put some videos out there. Who do I think I am? Why am I doing that? Do I want that responsibility? Does it matter? Um, and really, who do I think that I am to do it at all? And who do I think I am to even worry about what it matters or what anybody thinks? So that's a funny thing to wake up to. But it's not an unusual thing for me. And I want to talk about fear. Okay? I want to talk about I've got cats and they're jumping around, but I want to talk about fear. And we all have fears. And the quickest go-to would be fear of failure. And that's not necessarily where I'm coming from. But have you ever dealt with the fear of success? I've toggled between the two for a good chunk of my life. Fear of failure, fear of success. Why would anybody fear success? What does that mean? Well, I'll talk to you a little bit about it today. So, I've always been an artist. As far back as I can understand what being an artist means. When I was very, very young, I always thought I would be a dancer, a choreographer. I loved dancing and music, loved it. Got into gymnastics, went so far with that, and then I got scared because things got hard and I just bailed out. I can't really say that's really what I wanted to do. I really wanted to be a dancer. But that was when I was very young. But I remember in school, and at daycare, just creating things. I used to make these books out of paper. I don't know, maybe some of you are too young to remember, but there used to be this computer printer paper that was green and white alternating lines. And for whatever reason, we had an overabundance of it. And so I would make these books with like little folders and just makeshift stuff out of paper. I really enjoyed that, and that was just something fun for me. I wish that I had one of those from back in the day. Don't know. I don't think any of those were salvaged, but as the years went on, it became more about scholastics, academics, good grades, straight A's. I never seemed to struggle, and I did well with school without much help or asking for much help. But I remember, I believe it was second grade, and I had this teacher in elementary school. And, you know, she was a good teacher. I can't say that she was unkind. But nevertheless, that was my first time of not making straight A's. I got a B. And I don't even know what I got the B in. But I remember I got the B, and I remember feeling very ashamed, hard on myself, and actually fearful of what my parents would think because I got a B. So, I'm not coming from a place of blame here, but I'm trying to figure myself out and track back why I have the tendencies that I have and why I do what I do. So we're talking about fear of success. And we're talking about fear of failure. Fear of failure seems to be a very easy thing for people to relate to, but fear of success, man. Why a fear of success? Well, for me, it's been, it equates, I gotta get here, this is Beasley. It equates expectations, perfection, no, yeah, I see you there. Come on, Bubba. Come on. A day in a life, but fear of success. Yeah, expectations. Always hitting the mark. Consistency. Never letting anybody down. This unachievable perfection. I think that's where it began for me. Like I said, in second grade. I think that would have been sometime in the 80s. Probably 1987. Anyway, you see behind me, I have this piece of furniture. I consider myself an artist. I've been an artist in many ways from at a young age of dancing and making up dance routines to the paper books and making things out of crafts. And when I got older, as a teenager, I got into music. I played music. I have played guitar, written lyrics. My dad got me a guitar when I was 16, with a little crate amp and a 4-track player. And I still have cassette tape. Maybe one of these days you'll hear it. Nevertheless. So I got into music, writing music, playing music, writing lyrics, and writing. I wrote a lot, really, in my teenage years. But at times in art class, you know, with projects, I would paint. So I did some painting. But I had a very bad experience with an art teacher in high school, and that really stopped me from doing any kinds of painting for a long time. I mean, I had good art teachers too prior to that, but it's amazing, you know, how, you know, one person can make you doubt yourself, make you question yourself, and kind of change the trajectory of your path. But that was in high school. I graduated in '98. That was many years ago. So after that, I got into sewing, being a seamstress, making clothes, making bags. I suppose I touched on that a little bit in high school. I had a really good sewing, I guess a sewing teacher. I don't think it was home ec. I think it was sewing. It was just sewing, and Mrs. Reynolds. She was super cool, and she helped me. I made this pair of fur pants. I was always a weirdo, and just, not a weirdo, but just very creative. Anyway, so yeah, out of high school, I was still into sewing, creating in that way. And I met somebody, and he was a musician, older than me. And we got into a relationship, and I was still very much into creating music. I wanted to sing and not necessarily play the guitar. I never really wanted to play the guitar. I always just wanted to sing and write lyrics. Anyway, we met and we collaborated, and back in the day, this would have been 2001, 2002, we used a program called Fruity Loops, where you could be one person and make a whole song, you know, through picking instruments and picking where you wanted them to be, and the duration, you could layer, and we spent hours. Man, we spent hours creating. And there was those songs too, somewhere. Maybe I'll share that someday. So, Time went by. A lot of in-betweens here, but trying to get back to fear of success. Time went by. He and I were together for 13 years. I thought it would be the relationship. It was good. We're still friends to this day. We didn't stay together. And I ended up getting into a relationship with this other man. And it wasn't good at all. He wasn't kind at all. And I wasn't necessarily happy with my work situation. And so I got into an opportunity where I could go to school part-time for carpentry and also work part-time at a job. So I did that. I did that for 9 months. Learned how to be a carpenter. But while I was doing that, I was also on Pinterest an awful lot. Not YouTube really at that time. Not YouTube at that time at all. Come to think of it. But I was on Pinterest a lot, and I was, trying to find inspiration, and that I got into painting again. But in a different way. Painting furniture. Didn't know you could really do that. There's a lot of opposition in that whole world of people and furniture and paint, don't paint, whatever. I get that. Nevertheless, I know I say nevertheless a lot. I got into painting furniture. And I got into a kind of a community of that, and I built a pseudo business page on Facebook, starting from the carpentry side and then going into painting furniture. And it was very successful, and I sold some pieces, and it's really where my whole when I started making videos came from that. And I realized I wasn't really talking so much about the furniture that I was painting or what I was doing, even though I did. I was talking more about more kind of in-depth things. Just when I created, I would think about these things and I would want to share. And like I said, this was not a healthy relationship, and it was my outlet, and it was my way of reaching out and having a community with like-minded people or other people. It was really good. And then I had this grand opportunity to get a job of a lifetime. And I got the job as a horticulturist at a major park here where I live. Groundbreaking. Brand new place. And a job that I thought I would never get because I don't have a degree in horticulture, but I do have a background in it. I guess just through hands-on and experience and other kind of jobs that had a touch of that within it. But here I have this opportunity to finally do what I always wanted to do. And I got it. Man, I got it. And then, so, through having that job, I started taking photographs. I started taking photographs of the landscape, of flowers and plants, and a lot of it was up close, not really broad, and only with my phone. I'm not a professional when it comes to that either. But like I said, so here I am, this awesome job, working in nature, taking these photographs, and so I go from painting furniture to taking photographs. And I don't just take photographs, but I start editing them. And I post them, and they're kind of a hit, kind of a big hit. And then I think, well, I'm going to make a calendar. And I did. Made a calendar, and I sold, I think, around 20 calendars. I also sold some prints of my photography along the way. I want to show you. This is the calendar. I saved one. Bristle and Grain 2020. Bristle and Grain, that's my business name. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, but I'm not really active much anymore. But I started taking photographs and editing them. Most of these were taken at the park that I worked at, but a few of these were taken my folks' home. And like I said, I sold calendars that year. That would have been the end of 2019. I sold calendars that year, and I sold prints of my photographs. And it was very successful, I feel. Very grateful for the people who supported me at that time. I know that they still do. But something happened to me and I knew it because I know me. And I know my patterns. And I know what I've done in the past. I got afraid again. Fear of success. Making reasons of why I can't go on. Being afraid of what? And I'm not going back to when I was in second grade, when I got that first B, and I was afraid that I was going to disappoint my parents, that I didn't get straight A's. I'm not blaming it on that. But a fear of what? Why would somebody be afraid to succeed? Like I said, maybe setting a bar and then having to uphold that bar, or raise the bar higher and higher and higher. Or maybe art that I love becoming a job and work, and fear of it becoming work and hating it. I don't know. These are all excuses that I've made for myself. That was 4 years ago. And I still follow the people that I followed back then, and man, a lot of them have really succeeded and have stuck with it, and I'm so proud of them. And I can't say, well, what if I had done that? Because, I really got into my job after, the whole appeal of these first photographs of this place that I was now working in nature, after an amount of time, you've seen those flowers, you've seen those plants, the newness kind of wears off, and so I became very absorbed into the job itself, which brought on more creativity, because I got into design and sculpting and, things that I could express there on that land, and just learning about different things in general. That really wasn't so superficial. It wasn't, I'm not saying that what I did was superficial, but I'm just saying that my focus shifted again. So, you see this piece of furniture back here? I've done work to it. I've sanded and I've painted, and I'm not done with it. And I have a lot of things around my house that I could show you that I've done. I have pieces that I've finished that I could sell. But again, I come back to that fear of failure and fear of success. I don't know. Do you ever have that problem? Have you ever come across that in your life? Not necessarily the fear of failure, because, you could talk about that too, but fear of success and doing well. I guess that gets into self-sabotage, but that's another topic for another day. Anyway, you know a little bit more about me now. So we're getting into the 30-minute mark. I'm Chandra. Good to see you. I'm happy to share that with you. I have yet to figure it out. I have no answers. Share an experience. It's how we learn from each other, so take care. Good to see you. See you again.